All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Team Call. My name is Natalie Schauer. I'm a Senior Ruby Ambassador, and I am really excited and also a little humbled to talk to you about the topic of loving your people. Okay. So loving your people, to be very honest, is something that I have really truly had to grow in. And not that I don't love people. I love people. I love being around people. I'm an extrovert. I feed off people. I love like just the energy and excitement and being around other people. Like that's something that like it recharges me and gets me all like psyched up. So I love people. But there's a difference between just like loving people and specifically loving your people and loving on your team. Okay. So because I am that same way, to be very honest, it's really hard for me to kind of get down in the trenches with people because I just want to have fun. I want to be with my people and I want to have fun and I want this to be just a great time all the time. And so sometimes it's challenging for me to get into the trenches with my team. And that's something I've really had to lean into and grow in. And I think Emily a couple weeks ago talked about like emotional maturity. You know, that's part of this whole growth process. And a part of emotional maturity is learning how to love on your people and lead them well. All right, so we're just going to dive in really quickly. So I actually asked a lot of my team and a few other people, like, what makes you feel loved? What makes you feel valued? What makes you feel seen? What makes you feel appreciated? And some of the things I was like, okay, yep, I can see that. And there were some things that honestly like blew me away. And so I wanted to go basically through all this. Now, if you look into any type of business, any major business, they will really talk about if they're successful and they have a thriving business environment, they will tell you that they really love on their people and take care of the people. Shameless plug for one of my favorite people in the world. It's actually Kristen Barkley's dad. His name is Paul Servati. He wrote a book. He's a CEO of a huge company, and he wrote a book called Take Care of Your People. And it is so good. It is so good. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of like business, like CEO, like business corporate stuff in there. But if you can apply this to your Plexus business, there's some really good stuff in there that you can take from that. And so I took a few different key points from that book as well. And then also from scripture, right? Because Jesus was the ultimate person that could just really love on his people well. So first of all, to love on your people, you have to create culture. Okay, that's what's so important. You have to create culture on your team. Here's the thing: is like part of loving on people, yes, is like rewards and how you how they're paid. Like if you're looking at like a company and your employees or whatever, how they're paid, and the rewards they're getting, and the incentives and the prizes and all that. Like that's a huge way to love on your team. But oh, sorry, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody in here. Sorry, everybody. I'm gonna. Where's that at? Sorry. All right, if y'all could mute yourselves, I thought I put it on there to mute yourselves, but okay. So corporate does a really good job, you guys, of rewarding our people well and paying them well and incentivizing them well and giving them prizes and building them up in that way. So the incentives and the money and all of that and what they're being paid, like corporate's already taken care of that for you. And to be very honest, that's sometimes the hardest part because it's a part that if you can't do it, you can't do it, right? So this is something that corporate's already doing extremely well, and it's our job to take on the rest. And a big part of that is our culture. Your culture is one of the most important things that you have to protect on your team. Culture literally eats strategy for lunch, y'all. So if you've got a great strategy and you've got great vision and you've got great ideas and whatnot, it doesn't matter if your culture is out the window. You have to have a strong and healthy team culture. Your team culture is how your people work when nobody's looking. Okay, so they can talk the talk and walk the walk and whatever, but if you're building a strong culture, they're going to work in that same in the same exact way that you're teaching them and the way that they are learning from the people around them. Okay, this is a business that is very much caught and not taught. All right, so the more that they're catching, the more that they're seeing, and the more that's being modeled for them, the more that they are going to sorry, I'm going to switch this really quick. The more that they're going to be able to lean into the culture and work hard when nobody's looking. That's your team culture. Your team culture is how people are working when nobody's looking. Culture is happening on your team, whether you were intending it for it to happen or not. Okay, it'll happen if you're not intentional about your culture is growing. If you're intentional about your culture is growing. Okay. Your culture is happening on your team, whether you are being intentional with it or not. It is growing. So what kind of culture are you creating on your team? Are you creating a culture that is around fun? Are you creating a culture that's around excitement and motivation and willing to put in the work and be intentional? Or are you creating a culture, maybe unintentionally, are you creating a culture of negativity? Are you creating a culture of complaining? Are you creating a culture of a negative mindset? Are you creating a culture of getting by on the least amount of work, but still wanting to hit major goals at the end of the day? Okay, so what kind of culture are you creating on your team? You have to be intentional with your culture. Your environment absolutely shapes how you feel, right? So when we're in an environment, it totally shapes where we're at and how we're feeling. So the environment that your team is in, the environment that you're bringing your team into is going to determine how they feel. And if you want them to feel loved and you want them to feel valued and appreciated and supported, you have to have a positive and strong culture to bring them into. You cannot bring somebody into a negative culture and expect them to walk away leaving supported and excited and encouraged and motivated. Okay, you have to have a strong culture. The person who is the ultimate culture creator and duplicator, right? Jesus himself, he loved people. He was the ultimate person that loved people, and we should model our love after what he did, right? We should strive to love people like Jesus did. And I was telling Emily earlier, I was giggling because I don't know if y'all are watching The Chosen. It's really good. You should watch it if you're not. But there's a part in there where the Samaritans, if you've read through Luke, in Luke 9, James and John are with Jesus and they're in Samaria, and the Samaritans actually, I don't want to say attack, but they like come after Jesus, and they kind of, and in The Chosen, they get all like up in arms, and James and John are ready to fight or whatever. And Jesus holds them back and lets the Samaritans go. And then they're like, do you want us to call down the fire of heaven to smite them, or whatever they say? And he's like, basically tells them absolutely not, like that's crazy. But then like later, as he's telling them that their mindset and their way of thinking was wrong, he like laughs about it, and he was like, y'all wanted to call on the power of God to bring down fire for these guys, and like laughs about it and walks away. And I love that, because I'm like, that's probably the way Jesus was. Like, he made it fun. It doesn't always have to be so serious, and helping people through hardships and helping change mindsets and everything doesn't always have to be a hard conversation. It doesn't always have to be so serious. And honestly, if you stop taking everything so seriously and teach your teams to stop taking things so seriously, it's going to make your culture a lot more fun and a lot more flexible and easier to switch around things that are coming into your culture that go against what you're trying to create. Okay. So, and Jesus was the ultimate duplicator, right? Emily and I were laughing about that this morning. Like, he's the ultimate duplicator. Y'all, he found just 12 people and just really poured into them and loved on them and taught them. And then they have gone and they have duplicated. I mean, I know I've heard this on team calls before. People have used this example, but Jesus was the ultimate duplicator. He loved people well. He created a positive culture. He taught well. He taught with love. And then that duplicated out. Okay. So if you really think about that, loving on your people and creating that culture to where they're going to go out and show that same love and that same culture to others, that's what's going to spread, and that's what's going to snowball your business. So what I want you to do is I want you to write between 5 and 10 spots on your paper. You can do this now if you can think of them quickly, or you can save it and do it later. But I want you to think of the values on your team. Okay, so your values are basically the culture of your team. What values do you want your team to possess? So think of 5 to 10 values for you. And I would honestly try to narrow it down to 5 if you can. Even like a top 3 is great. Think about what values you want your team to exemplify and write those down, and then start to create that culture. Okay. So for me, I wrote 8 of mine, that just to kind of get your brains going. So fun, I want my team to have fun. I don't like to take things too seriously. And honestly, I want everyone to have fun doing this. I want this to be a place where they want to come. Integrity is another one. I want people of integrity on my team. I want a culture of grace. We offer grace to each other. They're offering grace to me. I'm offering grace to them. Grace in our journeys. Okay, there's grace. We're motivated. We're super motivated to work. Okay, and grace and motivation go hand in hand. Okay, so I'm not grace. I think some people take that as like, All right, grace is like, oh, if they just don't really want to work today, there's grace. That's not grace. Grace is, meeting them where they're at and helping them overcome their obstacles, and not basically being like, well, that was wrong. Like, there's a difference. Okay. So make sure, and it's also called mercy, like have mercy with your team, have grace with them, meet them where they're at, help them overcome obstacles and help them move on from here. Have grace for them. Don't just shut them out because, they aren't working or whatever. Check in with them, see where they're at, have some grace. I think I already talked about being motivated. So yeah, so motivation, if you are motivated and you have grace with yourself, you're going to have a perfect marriage of having good, strong boundaries for yourself, but also being motivated enough to stay working and keep with it and stay consistent every single day. I want a team that has intentionality. Okay. I want to work with intentionality. I just don't want to throw things out there and see what sticks. And I don't want my team to throw things out there and see what sticks. That's a waste of everyone's time and everyone's efforts. I want to work with intentionality. I want people that are okay being vulnerable. I want to know where you're at, and I want to be able to tell you where I'm at, and I want to be vulnerable with each other and where we're at in our journeys and our partnership and our relationship as workers. So I think if we can learn to be vulnerable with each other, that's really important. I want a team that has a positive mindset. Okay. That doesn't mean that you're never allowed to tell me if you're having a bad day. It doesn't mean that, but it does mean that I'm not going to allow you to stay in that positive mindset. And that's what you need to understand. There's a difference between having a positive mindset and almost being unrealistic about it, or owning up to the fact that this is something that happened to me today and it was a rough day, but it's okay for me to switch that mindset and talk to your sponsor or your team, not your team, but talk to your sponsor and like your upline, talk to them about what you're experiencing and let them help you get back into that positive mindset. So I guess more would be a team that's willing to keep a positive mindset. And then I want a team that's dedicated to growth. Okay. I don't want people that are just stagnant to work with on a regular basis. So obviously there are some people that where they are is where they are, and that's okay. I'm still going to love on them and make sure they're taking their products. But my workers who are going for goals, I want to make sure that they are dedicated to growth and dedicated into leaning into personal growth, not just growing their team, but growing themselves personally and in their leadership. So here's the thing is you need to be choosy about who you're bringing onto your team. Okay. And I know this sounds crazy because everybody could use gut health. And yes, that's definitely for sure. But when you're recruiting, just don't go and throw out to any like Joe Schmo that'll listen to you about this and just grab people and start like talking them up. Like be intentional about who do I want to sit on the beaches of Hawaii with? Who do I want to do life with? Who are the people in my circle that have influence that carry these exact qualities, these values that I have on my team? Because remember, you're bringing these people onto your team and they're coming into your team calls, or they're coming into your huddles, they're coming into your circles, or they're going to be involved in your team. So I want to make sure that they are people that have a lot of the same values that I have. Not to say that not anybody can, benefit from gut health or whatever. Everybody can benefit from the products. And please hear the difference. There's a difference between having product users and really investing your time and building up people that have the same values as you. Okay. So like I said, do they share your same values? You need to protect your team by who you're allowing on your team. Okay. I'm saying this from experience. Don't just allow anybody to come into your team and to shout any values that they want. Okay. It's very important that you protect your team with the values that you have in place. So now on your paper, I want you to write down 5 dream teamers. Okay. Think about people that have these same exact values that you just wrote down before. And I want you to write down 5, 10, however many people you can think of, but these dream teamers that maybe you're scared to reach out to them. Okay. Maybe they don't need the money. Maybe they already have a full-time job. Maybe, they have already told you they're not interested or whatever that is. Just write down, I don't care. Write down your 5 dream teamers and then make sure that they match your same values. And then what I want you to do is I want you to start calling this out in your dream teamers. Okay. So instead of jumping straight to like, hey, do you want to join my team and let's grow business or whatever, if you have a value of fun and you have somebody who is so fun, start calling that out on their Facebook. My gosh, girl, you are always so fun. I love reading your Facebook posts. Seriously, so fun. And then, or if you have a team or if one of your values is intentionality, like, seriously, you are so intentional with your children. I love watching you parent. You have such intentionality in the things that you do. I love reading your stuff. And just start calling those things out in those people, okay? So that they see that you know how to recognize strong values, and you know how to recognize strength and leadership and influence, okay? Because they're going to learn to trust you as a leader the more that you can learn how to call these things out. And also, you're going to need to practice this so that you can be calling these things out in your team as well. So here's some different things that we started on our team. To be very honest, I was stuck, y'all. I was stuck a year ago and just felt like I could not get out of whatever this was. And I actually had to really look within myself and start praying and like dissecting my team and talking to Emily and talking to Jamie and talking to my team and just kind of seeing like what's missing and where are we at. And honestly, I think it really came down to the fact that I was not really intentionally loving on my team. All right. I loved my team. I would talk to them often, but I wasn't intentionally loving on my team. And there's a huge difference. So a few things that we implemented, and you can implement these if you want to. I actually kind of encourage you to do it. But you don't have to. These are just things that we did to start creating this culture. Because that was the thing. I wanted to create a culture. And the way you create culture is you get everybody together and you start just creating culture. You define what that culture is, you put boundaries around that culture, and then you start creating it and you start making it. And eventually it starts to snowball. And then you've created this amazing culture. I'm going to be honest with you. We have one of the strongest team cultures, I feel like, that I've seen in a long time. So a few things that we started doing is we started doing Monday Zoom meetings. Okay. So I make a link on Monday morning. I start my Monday morning with my call with Emily. Okay. So I get on a coaching call with Emily Monday mornings at 10 a.m. And then at 10:30, I've got a call with one of my level ones. And then we both are on for their 11 o'clock with their level 2. Okay. And then at 11:30, I have another level 1 call. And then we stay on and we do a couple of her level 2s and 3s. We all kind of do them together. And then at another time, we have another. So see, I've basically stacked them. And honestly, this works for me. Doing a whole day may not work for you. And if you need to break it up, that's totally fine. For me, I know it's easier since I'm in the mode of coaching and I'm in the mode of leading and talking through things like, and I've already got my Zoom, I'm in my office, I'm locked. Like if I'm already in the mode, I can knock it out all at once. And then I feel like we've had a really good, successful day. Again, that's the way my brain works. Maybe yours is different, but so it's a set call and it's a Zoom call for a reason. It is not a phone call. And if you can't make the Zoom call, we will wait till next week. It is a Zoom call, period. And one of the expectations is that you show up for this call. It was set in stone at the very beginning. This isn't something that is like thrown out the window and lackadaisical and maybe we do it, maybe we don't. I actually want to go to lunch with one of my friends. So can you reschedule a call? It's a business meeting and you're expected to be on that call. I'm giving you my time, so I expect you to give me your time back. Okay. It's a mutual respect. So we set those Zoom calls on Monday. Super fun. And to be very honest with you, I have loved these calls. And we've had people that were really, really, really not excited about these Zooms. They were like, oh my gosh, you want me to get on Zoom every Monday? And you know what? We show up in our PJs with our top knots, and I'm not looking all made up half the time on these calls. Like I'm here to just be real with them and to love on them. And if, like I said, if they've got the top knots and no makeup and PJs, I do too. It's fine. Sometimes I'm dressed, sometimes I'm not. You never know with me. So just be intentional with the time. That's what they care about. They care that you're giving them time. So make sure that you're leaning into that. So we do the Zoom calls every single Monday. It's a 30-minute chunk of time. The next thing that we do is we started doing welcome calls. Our uplines have been harping on this for a long time. Okay. Get into welcome calls. When you add a new person, get them on a welcome call with your sponsor, whether they are interested in the business or not. Okay. Because you're bringing somebody into your team culture. And I want to be able to establish culture and have fun with them and create a relationship right off the bat. All right. It's super important. Here's some verbiage for you if you're not sure how to do that. That makes it super easy. While you're on the phone with them. Okay. This is what I've done, by the way. This isn't even my notes, but just a side note. What we've started doing is during the enrollment process, while I'm on the phone with them, I'm saying, all right, Nancy, I'm adding you to a group right this second. It's called Be Free, Be Empowered, Be You. Do you see that? Okay, go ahead and add yourself to that group. Awesome. So you're in the group. Do you see at the top where it says guides? Okay, awesome. I want you to click on those guides, and then I'm actually walking them through where to find these and not just tagging. Here's the thing. You can tag people and stuff all day. Eventually, they need to know where to find things on their own, okay? Because when they want to go back later, they don't need to be looking for the tag. They need to know exactly where to go to find those guides. Walk it through it with them right there. And a lot of times what I'm doing is, all right, I'm also adding it to another group called Gut Health and Happiness. I'm going to add you to this. Do you see that? Okay, go ahead and accept the invite. Awesome. Now scroll through. Girl, these are testimonials of people that are loving our products, that are seeing huge improvements from our products. You can add anybody to this group that you think might be interested in doing this with you. You can add them to this group. Just let me know so I can make sure they get approved. But this is a really great group for you to get involved in. And I would encourage you to go through and just read some of these and just see how these products are really helping people and walk them through that right away. Because part of my culture that I want, again, intentionality, and I want people to be able to do things for themselves. I don't want to constantly have to be tagging people in things and helping them find things and reminding them where things are. That's a waste of everybody's time. And it's a waste of their time having to ask you. So walk them through things right on the phone. Then what I say is, okay, awesome. Now, Nancy, I want to connect you with my friend Emily. Emily and I both have very different experiences on the products, and I'm sure you're going to have things that come up that are, different from what I've experienced, and maybe she has experience in those products. So I want to set up a call with her and I really quick. I just want to get us on the same page. I want to introduce you guys to each other. I want to make sure that you're getting the most success on these products, since we just invested in your health. I promised you I was going to help reach your health goals. So I want to make sure I hold true to that promise. And I want to get you on the phone with Emily. When do you have some time to do that? And then we're working on getting them on the phone with Emily. Okay. I don't care if they're interested in the business. I don't care if they're interested in the products. Some people are, you might have those couple of people that are like, oh, I don't know about the phone. Girl, that's fine. We're all kind of weird on the phone. That's totally fine. I love that you'll be able to hear how weird we are in person. Like, we just want to jump on the phone with you really quick. I'm also going to add you to a 3-way chat with her anyway. So you might as well just jump on the phone with us so you can get to know us and hear our voices. Okay. So you could just make it fun. It doesn't have to be this serious, like, this is my script and this is what I'm supposed to say. And whatever, like, make it fun. Make it personable, make it relatable, and just tell them, like, basically, like, we love to have fun on our team. And I just want to introduce my friend, Emily. Do you mind if I get her on the phone with us? Easy peasy. Okay. So if you're struggling with verbiage, there's some verbiage for you to get them on welcome calls, because the welcome calls are where you start to create culture. Okay. It starts at enrollment. It doesn't start once they decide they want to join your team or they want to start sharing or whatever. It starts at enrollment. That's when culture starts being created. So the thing is, like, we do life together, right? We do life together as a team. So one thing that we've implemented also is team huddles. And this is just a place for us. We do them Thursday nights at 8:00, right before book club. So this is twofold, y'all. First of all, I have them all on a team huddle. So I can say, get on book club. Book club starts next. Get on book club. And I can hold them accountable to getting on book club. Okay. And so that's twofold. But the main thing is, it's a place for us to just come together. We talk about current happenings, like, oh my gosh, can you believe the welcome packs are listed at 10% off? Plus we have this coupon, like, this is crazy. Who's had really good success with it? And we talk together as a team. We're excited and we hang out. We talk about current happenings. It's a place where if anyone has questions, they can ask questions, and it's okay. Like, I know, so book club obviously is a great place for people to engage in discussion. And I want them to lean into book club because I want them to be engaged in leadership discussion. Team calls are amazing because it's a place where they can learn from leaders, but they're obviously, we don't talk back and forth, right? So that's why I love the team cuddles. I have said this so many times. Why do I keep calling it a team cuddle? It might as well be. Gosh, our team cuddle is Thursday nights at 8 p.m. and they're amazing and they're great and we all feel warm leaving them. So anyways, so that's something we've implemented together so that we can basically get news across to all of our teams, things that are going on. I can ask, is everyone registered for convention? Everyone's registered? Okay, awesome. Do y'all need a roommate? Do y'all need and we can start putting those things together. So the team huddles are so good, you guys. So that's something that we love to do. And somebody asked me, like, well, what happens when somebody else wants to start their own huddle? Great, start your own huddle. Like, that's fine. I hope creating community is something that duplicates in my team, honestly. And the more that you can get people plugged into your community, the better. And anyone's allowed in our team huddles. I don't care if they're brand new, if they're product user, anyone's allowed in our team huddles, honestly. The other things that we have started are, we've started like a monthly welcome to our team call. So this is at the very beginning of the month, we just find a time. Usually the last couple of times it's been Tuesday nights at 8:00. But anyone who's brand new on our team, we just jump on a Zoom call with them. We welcome them. We talk through how to take your products, the importance of talking to your sponsor in your three-way chat, the importance of leaning into the team page. And we really just kind of re-emphasize everything that they heard in enrollment, everything they heard on their welcome call with the sponsor, and everything that they've been hearing so far. We're just reemphasizing those things. So it's just a fun place for us to basically create culture and excitement and make them feel like they're part of a community right off the bat. We can talk about book club, we can talk about team calls. And so we've learned to really love these welcome calls because it's a place that we can immediately plug our team into, and they can ask questions. So it's just an open spot for us to be able to gather as a team and celebrate our new people coming in and love on them and welcome them right. Another thing that you can do is we're getting ready to do a team dinner. So we have corporates actually coming to Dallas to do a training in next weekend or something like that. So we use this as an opportunity to get our team together. We've told people we're in Dallas, Houston's 4 hours away. We've got people coming up from Houston. We've got people coming from all over because we went in and said, okay, let's all get a hotel together. And we all went in and the hotels are $200 a night, but you know what? We'll share beds. We don't care. We're a fun team. If you get it's $50 a night, if you don't mind sharing a bed with somebody. We've made it affordable for people. Also, if you can't afford it, let me know. I'm going to find a way to make it affordable. And then we're blessing them with a team dinner. Here's the thing. I know that finances are tight for a lot of people. But there's ways that you can love on your team and bless them, even if it's not buying them dinner. Okay. But what I do is personally is I like to save some of my business builder bonuses and put them off to the side as something to where I can love on my team. And to me, that's something I'm putting back into my business. I'm loving on my team, and that's really important to me. And that's a value for me. Again, I'm not saying you have to spend money on your team. Please don't hear that. But what I am saying is just find ways to love on them. You can get little cards and send them cards once a month, okay? And just telling them what a great job they're doing or whatever. There's different things that you can do to love on your team and show them value. You can invite them all over to your house and just make a little batch of cookies, and y'all have cookies and talk through things. Find ways to get your team together and get them excited, okay? I know Ashley said one thing that she likes to do for her team is she loves to purchase their first book for book club. So not only is that eliminating one of those obstacles for them, but it's also plugging them into book club and helping them move forward. And then she's also investing in that person and loving on them with a gift. Okay, so there's another idea. Take them to coffee. These are all different things that you can do to really love on your team. Okay, we have to go really fast because I'm running out of time, but I want to get through these things. So creating culture and loving on your team. You're going to laugh at me. I have 15 things, but we're going to go really fast. Number one, you have to give your team an out. Okay. And this starts even when you're recruiting. Okay. Give people an out. Do not make them feel like they're stuck in something or being strong armed into something or sucked into something that they don't want to be in. Always offer an out. This may not be for you, and that's okay. However, whatever. Always give them something to where they feel like they have an out. Now, this is not to say allow people to just bail and make excuses for themselves and leave when they're people that are trying to grow a legitimate business. That's not what I'm saying. Or when they're bailing on their health goals. That's not what I'm saying either. But give them a reason to give them an out, but build that trust enough to where they feel like they want to lean into you and your leadership, and they trust you enough to lean into that. Number two is give them grace and meet them where they're at. Okay, this is something that we've really had to lean into as a team as well. Some people want to go fast and some people want to go slow. Okay, if you've been with me for a while and you've listened to my calls, I'm all fast, 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 fast. How fast can we go? Let's lay down the hammer. Let's do this all really quick. There's no excuses. Let's just keep going. And so, but you know what? That's just not reality. Some people aren't there, and it's okay to meet them where they're at and help them to grow from where they're at. There is some people that are on my team that are solid senior silvers, and they're happy being senior silvers. And you know what? Their points contribute to my points at the end of the day. I still want to love on them and pour into them, right? And they want to grow slowly, and that's fine. We'll go at their pace. Meet them where they're at. But the people that come to you and say that they have goals that they want to hit, call them higher and help them hit those goals. Okay, so there's a difference. Just meet people where they're at and help them where they're at. Be adaptable. Okay, so you're gonna have to wear a lot of different hats. This is number three. You're gonna have to wear a lot of different hats as a leader. So there's you, especially when we're doing our Monday night calls or Monday day calls. I have to switch hats often. Okay, it's hey, we're going from I've got a rock star business builder, and we're going for massive goals, and we've got huge things, and it might switch over to okay, now this is somebody on my team that is going through a really tough time. And right now I need to go through helping them grow through something. It's a mindset issue, and I need to help them, I need to let them vent a little bit about what's going on at home so that they can see, so I can see where they're at and help them move forward from there, help them find a solution. So you're going to have to be able to be adaptable and switch hats and be able to love on your team and walk through things with them. Take notes. This is number 4. Take notes when you're talking to your team. It's so important that you're taking notes while you are doing coaching calls, because when you go back to next week and you're having that call with them, you need to not only recall what you guys talked about last week, because right, we're working with intentionality. We're not just throwing things out there and what's come up this week. No, did you do the things that we talked about last week? You didn't do them? Okay, what held you back from getting those things done? Let's talk through that. Or you did get them done. Awesome. What were the results from that? Okay, and then we can move forward from there. The other thing is, if you've got somebody who, their kid was in the hospital, I write that down so that when we meet, I can say, how's your baby? First and foremost, business aside, how's your baby? I want to make sure that your mama heart's good and that you are in a space to where we can actually have a call right now that's going to, encourage you, because I just want to make sure that you're good. So how's your baby doing? Write down specifics and talk to them specifically. That is intentionality with your team. Don't just throw out generic stuff that you're expecting them to grab. Okay. Be very specific and check in with them. Number 5, call them higher. And this is kind of twofold. So this looks like tough love sometimes. Okay. So if you've got people that are constantly either not showing up for coaching calls, or they are not doing the things that you're telling them to do in coaching or whatever, it's okay to say things like, you know what, I love you and I want you to succeed in this business, but honestly, this call is a waste of both of our time at this point, because we've put things in place, and until those things are done, I don't really see where we can move forward. So this is kind of not really valuable for either one of us. So why don't we take this call and set it off to the side till next week, and you take this time and really focus on doing those things that we talked about last week. Okay. Tough love is the same as calling them higher. If you see potential in them, you have to call that out in them. Okay. You have to. One of the things when I asked my team, Jessica Tanner said she loves when people see potential in her and call it out before she even sees it. Okay. That's important to people. People want to be needed, and they want to be valued, and they want to be seen. Okay. So a lot of times they don't know what they have to offer, and you have to call that out in them. You have to see what potential they have, call out that potential, call them higher. Jessica has made some huge strides in her business. I know she's not going to care that I say this, but she's made some huge strides in her business. And I really do think a lot of it is because we have called her to a level up here that she didn't know that she could reach, and she's reaching it. And it's amazing to watch. And like, her growth has been phenomenal. So y'all, call them higher. Okay. Look through their potential and focus on them hitting their ranks. I know this is a big shift that we're making in our company-wide and team-wide, but really focus on them hitting their ranks, because if you're more focused on your team hitting their goals and ranking up where they want to, obviously, naturally, you're going to rank up along with that. But if you remove your mindset from, I have to hit this rank and I have to do this and I have to recruit and I got to get this, if you take that out of your brain and just start focusing on helping your team hitting their goals, that's what's going to elevate you too, right? So obviously, if you're building a foundation and you're building a house on that foundation, your house is only going to get bigger as the foundation gets bigger, right? So this is how this works. You have to really focus on calling people higher. When they announced Gold School, we literally went to our team and said, don't even think about whether or not you're going to Gold School. How many people are you taking to Gold School? How many people are you developing to go to Gold School? Because whether or not you're going to Gold School isn't an option. How many people are you developing that you're going to take to Gold School with you? Because that's what's important here, and that's what's going to grow your business. And so that's been our focus, is not so much how do you get this prize, how do you get that reward, but how many people can I help develop to get that reward? So calling them higher is so important. Number 6, give them face time. Okay, this is important, and I've learned this through my Zoom calls. You have to give your team face time, and if it's, in person over coffee, great. If they're local, if they're not, get on Zoom. I don't care. They need to see your face. We are humans that are meant to interact and have community and see each other's faces. Allow them to see your face. There's something about seeing each other face to face that does something. Okay. We have a girl on our team that we started doing Zoom calls with her, and it seemed like there was like, man, she's doing the things and she's checking the boxes and we're just really not sure what's going on. And we would talk about it and it was like, yeah, I don't know, things are going good. I'm doing the things. But you know what? We got on a Zoom call with this girl and literally, like, I think within 5-10 minutes, tears were flowing because she has an unsupportive husband. She's got a lot of things going on at home that's really preventing her from feeling like she can get her work done. And so you know what, that whole call stopped, and it was because we were able to look at each other face to face. That whole call stopped and it became about getting her heart in a good spot, because she's not going to work effectively if her heart's not in a good spot. So that's what that coaching call turned into, is getting her heart in a good spot, helping her time block, helping her be able to get her home life into a place that's orderly so that she can fit her business into it. Guess what? Her business is doing really well as a result of that. And it's because we were able to do some FaceTime. Most of my team, when I asked them what makes them feel loved and makes them feel valued and appreciated, almost every single one of them said the Zoom calls have been a game changer. Almost every single one of them. And most of those people did not want to do the Zoom calls when we first brought them up, but they have said they are a game changer and they look forward to them every single week. Be intentional. Number 7 is be intentional with your time and their time. Okay. Be respectful of each other's time. Take this very seriously. Take your business seriously. When you show up to a coaching call, show up ready to coach them with pen and paper in hand, ready to talk to them, ready, like, honor their time. Okay. They've set this time aside for you. Take this seriously. Do not show up late. Make sure that you are honoring them and loving them by showing them that you value them, by carving out this time for them and being on time for it. Number 8 is model it up and down. Okay. The way that you model all of this is that, I'm very respectful of Emily's time. Okay. I'm respectful of Emily's time. And when she's got something that we need to cover or whatever, I give her my time. I'm respectful of her time. She's respectful of my time. We keep that time. I'm there. Like, that's one thing that I'm doing to model that for my team. I'm also honoring her leadership. I'm praying for her. Okay. So do the same things with your upline that you want to do with your downline. I pray for my downline, pray for your upline. Honor them, honor their leadership, give them your time, be respectful of their time. They're pouring into you as well. So model that. What you want them to do for you, model that same thing with your upline. Number 9 is pray for your people and ask God to give you wisdom on how to lead them well. I've prayed for my people on a general level for a long time. In the last few weeks, I've been intentional about praying for each person individually. And I carve out Monday mornings before we even do our calls for this. And I've got them all listed on a piece of paper. And I pray individually and intentionally for each person on my team and ask God how to lead them well and give me wisdom on what to say and what to do, and, different strategies and where their heart's at or whatever. And I ask God specifically how to lead them well and to give me the words to say on our coaching calls so that we can actually reach a resolution with, where their business is at and how to move forward. And so I pray for my team individually. And just this week, I started letting them know, like, I'm praying for you individually. And I tried to cover it on our coaching calls to let them know what I was praying for. Number 10 is learn to listen. You got to stop talking. Okay. You have to stop talking. Learn to listen to your team. Your team honestly doesn't need to hear all of your examples and all of your stories and all of your whatever. Like, sometimes that's good, but for the most part, like, just stop talking. Ask questions. Ask a lot of questions and let them talk. You're never going to know where they're at, where their heart is at, where their mindset is at, or anything if you're doing all the talking. Okay. This is something I had to grow in because I love to talk. So stop talking and start listening to your team. Start asking questions on your coaching call. And if you don't know what to say, literally the words, okay, well, tell me more about that. That's enough. And be okay with silence if they need time to process. Just stop talking and give them time to process out loud and actually take in what you're saying and give their feedback or give where their heart is at on that. Okay, so stop talking so much and start listening to your team. Number 11 is respect. We kind of covered this, but like, respect your time boundaries and theirs. So the way I like to do this is I've got my office hours, and these are my office hours. And if you don't catch me within my office hours, I'm trying to be very intentional with my family. I'm trying to love my family well. And that is, there's a certain 3-hour window where I put my phone away and I'm not answering messages. And to me, that models to them to have healthy boundaries in their family too. And that's a way you can love on your team, is allow them to have healthy boundaries within their families, because that's so important. That's one of the quickest things that will lead to burnout. If you feel like you have to be doing this all day, every day, you have to have time where you carve out just for your family. When you are working plexus, you are 100% working plexus and focused on plexus. When you're with your family, I want you to be with your family. Okay. So model those boundaries, respect their time boundaries, and, help them to respect yours as well. Number 12, we talked about this, is like team gatherings. That's another thing you can do just to create culture and to love on your team. Get team gatherings, whether it's on a Zoom call, whether it's in person, whatever that looks like. Just get your team together. People love community, where they're in the team page, right? They're in the view, they're in pink power, they're in gut. Like, we do all these things together, but people love to be with people. As much as they want to sit here and say they're introverts, they love to be with people at some level, and they need to be with people. Okay. Number 13 is introduce them. Am I on 13? Yeah. Introduce them to our community. Okay. I would never even dream of taking a new person to a party with all of my friends and then ditching them and going and talking with all of my friends and allowing them to just find a way around that party by themselves. Right. I would never do that. So think about this with our team page. When you get them in the team page, we're shouting them out and welcoming them, and that's great, but let's introduce them to different, like, tag them in some things and get them in the community, get them feeling like they're part of the community, introduce them to people. And if you have different, like if you're doing the team welcome calls, like we are like, yay, we have this new person, let's celebrate them, shout them out, whatever, we're excited they're a part of our team. Like, introduce them into your community. Don't just expect to like add them to the team page, tag them in something, and then I'll just check on them in our three-way chats. Like, get them involved in our community, get them talking in our community, tag them in different things. Okay. And when you tag, this is another thing, loving on people is not just tagging it and letting it go. Loving on people is tagging them, telling them in that same tag why you're tagging them, and then going to your messages and saying, hey, I just tagged you in something. Okay. That's intentionality. That's loving on your team. Randomly tagging people in things, half the time they won't see it, and then half the time they won't even know why you tagged them in it. That's not loving your team well. Loving your team well is having the intentionality and the putting the effort in to go the extra mile to say, hey, Nancy, I'm tagging you in this because we talked the other day about how you were really struggling through migraines. I thought you could benefit from this. Let me know what you think. And then I go to my messages. Hey, Nancy, I just tagged you in a post in BU about migraines. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Do you see the tag? And ask those questions. Okay. Make sure she sees it. Don't just tag and run. That's not loving your team well. So introduce them to our community and get them involved in our community. Number 14 is make this fun. Y'all, make this fun. This does not have to be such a serious business thing all the time. Like, people crave fun. And if you've got someone like me that's joining your team and it's boring, I'm not going to stay very long, to be very honest with you. I need fun. And even if you have people that are super serious, there's an element of fun in them that they want to be having. Okay. So make it fun with your team, whatever that looks like. I just gave you a bunch of ideas, but find ways to have fun. And last but not least, have faith that your team is full of diamonds. Okay. Have faith that your team is full of diamonds. Say it out loud. I'm not kidding. Say it out loud. When I was in prayer for my team this morning, I said, thank you, God, for all these diamonds that you have entrusted to my team. I hope that you can help me to lead them well. Give me wisdom. God, I just pray that you would give me some revelation on how to help each person individually. Help me to be intentional with each person. Thank you for the diamonds that you have entrusted to my team, because I firmly believe that all of these are diamonds. And you know what? People could sit there and look at you like you're crazy all day long. But you know what? When all those people are diamonds someday and you say, I just spoke it and I called it out, and that's like, I believed it. That's the thing, is there is power in your tongue. There's life or there's death. Okay. So you can sit here and say all day long that your team's not growing and you only have 4 people in your 4 shares or whatever. Or you could say, man, I've got 4 diamonds on my team. Their points don't say it yet, but these are diamonds on my team, and I'm going to look forward to developing them. I'm excited about our journey. Thank God for the diamonds that are on your team. Okay. The last thing we're going to tell you to do, sorry, I know we're running late, but the last thing we're going to tell you to do is everybody on your team, if you want to love them well, help them to see themselves as a diamond as well. Okay. So what I am doing with most of my team, and heads up team, if I haven't done this with you yet, I just haven't gotten to you yet. So maybe this is a good way for you to get started. Tell them to visualize themselves as a diamond. Okay. Picture yourself as a diamond. And what do you like? You are now on stage, you are a diamond, and you are a motivational speaker now or something. You know, you have a massive team, you have 7 diamonds underneath you, you've got residual income. Like, you are a powerful businesswoman with a strong team underneath you. Okay. Picture that. And, picture that Natalie Shower, Diamond Ambassador, picture that. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to write down 5 to 10 of your favorite things about that woman and what inspires you about that woman. And then I want you to say it in the first person every single day. Okay. So this woman is a powerful businesswoman. I'm a powerful businesswoman. This woman attracts strong leaders on her team. I attract strong leaders on my team. See how we're taking like what we want and we're turning it into reality by calling it out now. Affirmations are so strong. And I know that this is so kooky to a lot of you, and you've heard this over and over and over again. For the love, just start calling it out, okay? Picture, like I said, picture yourself as a diamond ambassador, a strong businesswoman. Write down 5 to 10 things that inspire you about that woman, and then start saying them every day about yourself, okay? I'm a strong leader. I'm a inspirational, motivational speaker. I have strong leadership influence. And just start writing those things down and calling them out every single day. Tell your team to do the same thing, okay? Ask them to show you their list too, okay? Keep them accountable on that. It's okay. Let me see your list. I'd love to see what you're excited about someday, because I want to cheer that on with you. And I want to believe that for you and believe that with you. So start having them visualize themselves as diamonds. And then I'm telling you, if they can get themselves into that mindset and that brain space, they're going to start working as a diamond. They're going to start showing up as a diamond if they can actually see themselves as a diamond. Okay. So I know we went over, I'm so sorry, but that I felt like all of that just needed to be said because it was so important in loving on your people. I cannot tell you, we are in my team right now. I was stuck. And now we are in huge momentum and we are doing some awesome things. And we've got so many people that are excited and motivated and they're running. And this is mainly because we have created a culture of fun and excitement and motivation, and we are running with it. Okay. And it's contagious. Excitement is contagious. Get face to face with your team. Okay. I love you guys. I'm excited to see what you guys could do in the next couple of months. Let me know if you need any of those notes that I mentioned, and I can, send those to you. So anyways, y'all have a great night.